Have you told your friends that you see ghosts?
Oh, absolutely not.
Gina Rodriguez returns in Not Dead Yet.
I'm back, baby!
Who is up?
Oh, she's the obituary writer.
And Brad Garrett joins the brilliant ensemble cast.
Titan, Maverick, Titan of all Mavericks. These are all words used to describe me.
Not Dead Yet. Season premiere. Tonight, 8:30, 7:30 Central on ABC. And stream on Hulu.
Hey guys, going to make this one really quick because it's Memorial Day weekend. Just another bonus episode from us at Horror Movie Night. I was at the Philadelphia Wizard World this past weekend. It was a blast. I grabbed a couple interviews with a few people doing some horror-themed comics and bumped into an old friend of mine who designed one of our Horror Movie Night t-shirts. So enjoy these quick interviews. This is probably going to be like a 10-15 minute episode tops. And don't forget, June 23rd, that is a Saturday at noon Eastern Standard Time, we will be doing our Twitch stream for 12 straight hours, so you do not want to miss out on that. But anyway, enjoy these interviews. Hey guys, so I'm here at Philadelphia Wizard World. I'm battling by the fact that I'm standing very close to the stage, but I'm here with Jason from Zenescope. So as I'm walking around, I'm seeing this comic that I think I've heard of, but I've never actually seen before, and it looks very much like an old Tales from the Crypt book, and it's the Grim Tales of Terror. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Tell you right now, Tales of Terror series has been doing extremely well for us. It's actually now in its 4th volume. So how we do our Tales of Terror is it's 13 issues in the first volume, 13 issues in the second volume. Our Tales of Terror is kind of like a urban legends. It's taking urban legends that you're familiar with, sort of like Monkey's Paw, Black Cat, Jekyll and Hyde, yeah. Right? Stories that you're very familiar with, putting them into comic book form, putting a little bit more of a modern day spin on them. We have Keris, who's kind of our female Grim Reaper. She's our goddess of death. She kind of decides like who lives, who dies. This is bad people doing bad things. Keris has the option of punishing them for those bad things that they do and so forth. The great thing about Tales of Terror is each individual issue is a standalone. So if you like Monkey's Paw and you just wanted to read Monkey's Paw, you could read that as a standalone issue. You could start with issue 4, you could start with issue 12. You don't have to start with issue 1. It's a great, again, anthology series where it's just taking those individual urban classics, like you mentioned, almost like Tales from the Crypt style, but putting them a little bit more modern.
Very cool. And it looks like you've got, I mean, there's a wide spread of stuff that I'm seeing at the table, but it does seem like it has a pretty good little horror bend to a lot of these tales.
We do. Like, a lot of times we're known for our artwork, our cover work, but if people actually kind of open up the books, take a look at what's inside, we are very horror-driven, very dark, very twisted, in fact, in nature. We're also in our very strong female characters. Do we have sexy covers at times? We certainly do, maybe even a little pin-up-y style. But if people actually opened up the books and took a look at what's inside, we are very dark, very twisted. For instance, we do Neverland, where Peter Pan's like a vampire-type being. We do Alice in Wonderland, extremely dark Alice in Wonderland, not Disney-style Alice. We do Grimm fairy tales, where we're using a fairy tale much like original Brothers Grimm, kind of used to teach a life lesson. So it goes from like present day to the fairy tale, and then back to present day, where people are supposed to learn a life lesson from that fairy tale. How we get dark and twisted is the choices that people make based on those decisions from the fairy tale and the fairy tale itself.
All right, and I can't help but notice you're rocking a Philadelphia Eagles shirt. Are you guys based out of Philly?
We're just outside of Philadelphia. In fact, I was born and raised in Abington. I went to Abington High School. In fact, the owner of the company is Joe Bruscia. He and I actually graduated high school together. We're both huge Eagles fans. We were down there for the parade. Extremely proud the fact that the Eagles won in Super Bowl for the first time in 52 years. I went to many playoff games, many Eagles games. I was down for the parade in '80 when the Phillies won. My dad took me down. I was down for '83 when the Sixers won. And we went 4-5-4 with Moses Malone. I was down with the Phillies when the Phillies won 2008. I went to quite a few playoff games in that series run too as well. Went to the parade, but nothing matches the utter joy, jubilation from the Eagles winning a Super Bowl, taking the monkey off our backs. Go Birds.
So for the listeners, because we have a pretty wide landscape of listeners out in Europe and a couple all over, if people are interested in checking out some of these grim tales of terror, where's the best place to get them?
They can get them either through our web store, which is Zenescope.com. We're also on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. They can get them through Zenescope.com. If they want to get them through their local comic shop, they certainly can. In fact, Diamond UK supports us. They have all of our books anywhere in Europe. Diamond in the US obviously carries all of our stuff too as well. Anywhere you buy Marvel, anywhere you buy DC, you can find our stuff too as well. We are in previews. We're just in the back of the book under Z.
All right, thank you so much, Jason.
You got it, man. Thanks so much.
All right, guys, I'm not as close to the stage this time, but I am still fighting a crowd, so hopefully this isn't too muddled on your iPods. But I have Eddie here behind the comic book Day One, which, from just looking at it, looks like I'm going to lean towards a zombie comic.
That is correct.
So tell me a little bit about Day One.
So Day One is about Pick Sampson, who is just a regular guy. He's a pharmaceutical sales rep. He's coming home, to his family, and stuff is going on as he's driving. He's seeing stuff happening, and when he gets home, he realizes that something happened. He ends up losing everything he cared about on day one.
So does the book take place all within that first day, or is it just that it initially starts at day one?
It initially starts on day one.
Okay.
So, and he was trained by his dad from a very young age, him and his brothers, to be survivalist, and they're very heavily trained in martial arts. I have 20 plus years experience in martial arts, so I put a lot of detail into the fight scenes and into the zombie kills that you normally would not see in a comic book.
So what was, I'm assuming you're a horror fan, or at least a zombie fan. What was the initial inspiration for the book?
Well, I've always had it in my head, and when I was back in college a long time ago, I had ideas that I kind of sat on and never did anything, and now I start to see a lot of those ideas that became really big things. So I decided to, you know what, you're going to get nothing done by just sitting on your hands. So that's what I did.
It gets real frustrating as a creative person where you have an idea and you're like, that'll never work. And then you're like sitting in a movie theater and you see your idea as a trailer and you're just like, son of a bitch.
Yes, that is 100% what happened. I told a lot of my friends this would be a great idea to shoot as a movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were like, oh, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. And it's been proven that it does work.
Yeah, it's like flash forward to 28 days later and all these other ideas. And you're like, motherfucker.
Yes,
like,
it's happening. Yep, definitely.
All right, well, where can listeners who want to check out the book go and find a copy of it?
Well, they could go to dayone.comic.com.
Okay.
And they could also follow me on Instagram at dayone.comic, and you can see a lot of my work that I do on there, and take the journey with me.
All right, thank you so much, Eddie.
Awesome.
Hey guys, I'm still here at the Philly Wizard World. I'm closer to the stage again, which means that sound might, again, be a little bit rough. But I needed to sit down real quick and talk to my buddy Chris of Victory Screech Labs. He does coffee mugs and mouse pads and air fresheners and occasionally t-shirts. And one of the shirts that he has done is the I, Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft shirt that many of you might already have. So I wanted to give him a quick chance to promote all of the crazy shit that he's got out here. Chris, this is amazing. This sounds like your stuff is so innovative. What sparks the idea of doing like M&M in front of spaghetti and meatballs on a coffee mug?
Well, we've gone around and I've seen other things at conventions and craft shows where it's just like a thing on a mug, a stereotypical logo, icon, or whatever. So, I figured everybody loves music, pop culture, movies, animation, and we thought we'd, put someone on the mug, but the background kind of have it tie back in. So, Mom's Spaghetti, M&M's. You know, if you really like M&M or you're really up on your meme game, you're going to see that and be like, oh my god, that's pretty unique. So we try to, you know, get something that's a little eye-catching and makes you think. And even if you don't get it, like we have a Jason mug with the background's a bunch of camping tents, trails. I had people say, it's like, I don't know what the background is, but I really like that. So, I mean, I watch a lot of TV.
The
I
Hank
like
Hill with propane is a good one.
We got Bobby Hill with the fruit pies and everything. So we kind of to make it custom to the character per the mug. But yeah, from Frasier to RuPaul's Drag Race, Carl Sagan.
I see a Bob Ross up here.
Bob
right
Ross,
next
that's been really popular with a lot of people here. Mitch Hedberg, we've been selling a lot of. So it's really been a blast here, and been getting a lot of suggestions. We're gonna get up on our wrestler game. So,
well, where can people go if they want to see some of these? Add them into their own coffee mug cabinet.
I mean, if you want to widen your selection of mugs, you can find us on www.victoryscreech.com. We have shirts, coasters, mouse pads, mugs, air fresheners, pretty much anything to suit your taste that you could either use your car, every day at work, anywhere in your life.
Where did the idea for the air fresheners come from? Because I feel like they weren't here last year.
They weren't. We actually got these in a couple of months ago. We were at a craft show and we saw someone doing black and white cardboard air fresheners, and we were like, well, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And so we actually found online a supplier for the felt and everything, and with our sublimation technology, we were just like, oh, we can just apply it that way. And we thought, well, every coaster we've seen has been black and white, so we thought we could do full spectrum, full color things that like refer back to the character. So like for Big Mouth, we got the hormone monster in his sense, Luscious Dirty. So all kinds of stuff like that. Ron Swanson coming in with the bacon scent. Hank Hill smells like beer. I don't know how popular that one would be, but it's funny. So we got all sorts of goofy, fun stuff like that.
That's fantastic, dude. Well, thank you so much. I always am excited to see how successful your table is every time I see you at a con. I'm telling you, do Monster Mania in March. We'll hang out in the hotel and party after the show. We'll get you on the podcast to like discuss a movie.
I would absolutely love to do that.
All right. Thank you again, Chris. That's victoryscreech.com to check out all their stuff.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.